tock, tick, 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 tock, tick. Thank God for a case. Smooth y'all up a little bit. That is what we spend our life doing. Walking in circles. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. And as we keep on going, time just keeps on ticking. Tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. I didn't expect them to die so soon. I thought we had time. Tick, tock, tick. I didn't expect the company to lay me off. I thought I had time. Tick, tock, tick, tock. I didn't expect us to break up. I thought we had time. I didn't expect me to not graduate. I thought I had time. I didn't expect. I thought I had time, and all the while we're so busy thinking, time is so busy moving. And so then we catch ourselves walking in a circle. Our feet constantly moving, yet going nowhere. I got my steps in for the day, but I haven't really gone anywhere. I got my cardio in for the day, but I haven't really gone anywhere. I sat down and I put a little bit of thought into the idea, into the business, but I haven't really done anything for real. I've just been sitting in thought. I sat up here and thought about everyone I loved, but I didn't pick up the phone to call them because I'm just waiting. Or can I even say that I'm actually waiting? Am I just stuck? And maybe stuck didn't start with me. Maybe stuck started at my mother, or maybe stuck started at my father, or maybe stuck started at his mother, or maybe it started at her father, or maybe it was our great-grandmother on our twice-removed cousin's side. Where did stuck begin? Because I come to find that maybe it didn't begin with me, because if it began with me, I don't think there would be something inside of me that doesn't want to move. I think if it began that wants to move, I think if it began in me, all of me would want to just stay stuck. But I'm battling with two different sides of the same coin, where I want to move, yet I just happen to be stuck. And at the same time I want to go forward, something else wants to stay where I am. And I'm reminded of Paul, who said, that I hate to do is what I do, but that I want to do, that is what I do. And I come to find that this thing must have begun before me, because with my mind, I'm serving the law of Christ, but with my flesh, the law of sin. So maybe, just maybe, the duality is not even something that began with me, but that's what I must break. Maybe I thought it was a financial burden. Maybe I thought it was a marriage burden. Maybe I thought it was a corporate burden. But come to find out, maybe, just maybe, what God put me here to break was the curse of stagnation. Where as much as we want to believe that we're going forward, truthfully, we're just going in a circle. And time just keeps on moving. The day keeps on changing. The sun keeps on rising, and it even keeps on setting, and the stars keep on shining, and planes keep on flying, and life continues to go on. And while everything is evolving, and everything is changing, and everything is growing, or even dying, it's moving in some capacity, we are yet still stuck, going in a circle. Yeah, 2023 is going to be my year. It's okay. If 2023 is not my year, 2024 will be my year. Oh yeah, 2019 is going to be my year. It's okay, 2020 will be my year. Oh, COVID came. Now I've got an excuse to not live up to the expectation that I set for my own self. Now I have a cop-out because 2020 didn't go how I wanted it to. So I'll try again in 2021. 2021, I'll do 2022. 2022 passed me by. I thought I was going to do better, but I didn't. I'm going to grace myself, forgetting what's behind me and pressing forward to what's ahead. But now I'm in 2023. And though I had so much expectation for 2023, 2023 is starting to look just like 2022. And 2022 surely looked like 2021, and 2021 looked like 2020, and 2020 looked like 2019, just with a little bit more craziness. I'm finding that all of us want to go forward, yet we're stuck, waiting, thinking maybe, just maybe, something will fall from the sky and it'll break me out of this cycle. Maybe, just maybe, I'll put enough thought behind it that it breaks the cycle. Maybe, just maybe, God will come into my cycle and he will carry me out. Not realizing that the only thing that we must do to stop walking in the circle is to make a decision to stop. To make a decision that I'm no longer going to continue in that pattern, because if I continue to do what I've always done, I'll always be where I've always been. And the only way for me to go forward is to stop walking in a circle, but change my direction and go forward. But what happens is we end up getting out of that circle and stepping into another circle. And we find that this circle might be something we can handle. This circle is a little bit more acceptable, because though I'm moving in the same direction, I'm not in the same place. But what does it matter to be in a different place doing the same thing if you are operating out of your history in a moment that's supposed to carry you into your destiny? You'll end up making your destiny just like your history, because you're doing the same thing in a new place, not recognizing that in order to find something new, you got to lose what's old. And it's not so much about just leaving the place, but that means letting go of every ounce of your identity that reflects the place that you were in. I'm reminded that's why God told them, come out of the trees. I'm going to give you something new to put on. Though I see the leaves that you're wearing in Genesis 3, I understand you are among trees, but I'm going to give you some other clothes, because if you go into what I have prepared for you, you will end up poisoning what I've prepared to you, dressed like what I've set you free from. So I've got to give you new garments. And so here we are, in a new place, with old actions, doing the same thing we've always done, only staying in the same place we've always been. Where in all of the chaos do we begin to break free? Where in all of the uncertainty do we settle ourselves in being certain that I don't know where I'm going to go, I just know I can't stay here? I find that we find this boldness inside of ourselves to finally step outside of the circle we were once in that expanded itself into another circle. And we walk into this new place of freedom. Wow, I've never seen that before. Wow, I've never done that before. Let me go around and look at it because I don't know if it's safe. I know last time I was in a place, a few crazy things happened. I wasn't prepared for how everything was going. So let me just walk around the place and just scope the area out. Let me make sure that it's safe. You know what I'm saying? I understand God is with me and he prepares the place for me. He said, I'll go before you and make the crooked places straight, but I just want to walk around it just to scope the area, just to double check. Lord, I'm not going to say I don't trust you. I'm not saying that because, Lord, I trust you. I'm just going to walk around just to scope out the area and make sure it's safe. I'm walking around. I can't see too much. Let me just keep walking. I'm going to give it some time. Maybe after so much time passes, I'll have enough confirmation that the place is settled because God saying go wasn't enough because God is evil, right? And God doesn't want the best for me, right? No, I'm just believing falsities and I'm believing lies, and I'm reminded of the people who were set free from Egypt, but so scared of the wilderness that instead of leaning closer into God, that they might have confidence in the place of their insecurity, they began to just walk around. And what was supposed to take them 11 days took them much longer because they just kept walking around. So I'm walking around, scoping out the area, and now I've come to find that I've tripped, stumbled, and fell into the same pattern that plagued me before. Circles. Circles. The crazy part is that now we've gotten into the place where we're supposed to prosper. For it says the harvest, but because of our disbelief, we've just fell into another circle. The curse of stagnation. And I come to find that as much as we want better, we can't seem to get there. I come to find that we look up at the sky, staring at the stars, hoping for a miracle. We're praying, wishing, and asking God, send a miracle. Bashatai Yanama. But when the miracle comes, we just walk in a circle. I find something odd in the midst of the circles is that in between every circle is a path of connection, where we may think that there are differences in the two occurrences, yet they're really just connected because ultimately it means nothing to move ahead if you don't break the chain of what's behind. I believe that's why God had to blind Saul before he became Paul, so that he could lose every ounce of who he was to become who he was destined to be, and that he would not poison who he was destined to be by staying who he was. Because it's easy for me to go from this circle to that circle when there's a path that connects the two. But what do you do when the path is broken? What do you do now when you have the opportunity to be free from every pattern and every circle that has plagued you before? You're faced with two options on the brink of prosperity, on the ledge of legacy. at the tip of transformation. You see, there's no path here that connects us to there, which means I have the opportunity to move completely forward, letting go of everything that I've experienced in this circle and the circle prior, to begin anew. For God said in Isaiah 43, I'll do a new thing. But oftentimes the fear of stepping off of the pattern and into uncertainty, into the unfamiliar, into the place of growth is so scary that we'd rather not just stay here, but because here didn't produce what we wanted it to produce, because we walked in a circle, we end up just going back like maybe, just maybe, it was pointless. Maybe, just maybe, I should have stayed where I was. Maybe, just maybe, I was safe here. Maybe I was covered here. If I stepped outside of where I was comfortable and into a place where I wasn't comfortable, and I saw that everything that I was expecting to happen did not happen, maybe I was a fool and maybe I should run back, says disbelief. So then we end up coming back. Then generation after generation, we're just stuck in a circle. Then when a child comes and they're bold enough to step outside the circle saying, no, I'm going to go that way. It's no, I already went that way. It's not going to work out. Just keep walking in your circle. Then one gets bold enough to break out of it. No, I'm going. And they make it, and they're going, and their generation is happy. Not the ones living, but the ones looking down from heaven, because you're going, keep going. And then finally, you get stuck in the same place they got stuck because it didn't start with you. So then you're like, I'm not going to go back there, but I'm going to stay here. I don't know what's over there, but I'm going to stay here. I can kind of see from a distance that there might be something good. I mean, the building looks a bit bigger. It looks like there's more light over there, but I don't know. There's no path for me to get there. So I'm just going to stay here. Then a child comes up. What's that over there? I'm going to go over there. No, don't go over there. Just walk in, just stay in the circle. Just stay in the circle. But look, it looks better. I can see it, because as you're aging, you can't see as good as the younger. So the younger is looking. That's why the Bible tells us that the older shall serve the younger, because the younger is saying, no, let's go. There's so much over there. Let's go. You're saying, no, it's not. Just keep on walking. Trust me. You want a child to trust you, but you couldn't trust your father. And I'm not talking about your earthly father. I'm talking about your heavenly father that said, just trust me. Go where I say go, do what I say do, and trust that you shall not fail. Then finally, another child is born. And God says, I'm going to give you another chance. I've chosen you to do what no one else in your family could do. I've chosen you to break every generational curse. I've chosen you to break every ounce of disbelief. I've chosen you to break every ounce of fear that has plagued your family for generations. I've chosen you to break the curse of stagnation. What are you going to do about it? And so you have the power. Something's drawing you to step over there like it didn't draw everyone else. You're not scared. You have this sense of boldness on you. Like maybe, just maybe, I am the one. Maybe, just maybe, if I step out in faith, God won't let me down. Maybe, just maybe, even if I trip and I stumble on my way there, at least I say I tried. At least I know what didn't work for me, and maybe I'll find what did work for me. So now you're faced with two decisions. Am I going to fall back into what's plagued my family for generations, or am I going to be the one that breaks the mold? Am I going to be the one that steps out in faith? Am I going to be the one that sets a new format and a new path in my family? Am I going to be the one that reestablishes faith? Am I going to be the one? You're faced with a decision. Wait, you're not hearing me. You're not faced with, you're not faced with God being on your side. No. The Bible says that he will give us our heart's desire. And that means he'll also give us what our heart shall desire, meaning if we're desiring it, it's because God already aligned it to us. It's a drawing that should lead us in the path of our destiny. So it's not about God. It's not about having support. No. It's about making the decision within your own self. That despite who's watching me, despite what anyone thinks about me, despite my support system or lack thereof, if I may but touch his garment, I'll be made whole. I don't know if anyone's going to agree with me. I don't have any proof that it might work. All I have is the faith that I've spoken unto my own self and the decision that I've made within my own self. I've counseled among my own self, because the Bible even tells us how God goes within his own self as counsel, because there is no one greater than him. So I stepped into a divine moment where I'm not relying on any external power, only the power that's inside of me, where he says, I do exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ever ask or think, according to the power that works in you. A decision. So you decide, I'm gonna go. And you step out into unfamiliar territory. I can't say that I'm completely comfortable. In fact, I'm completely uncomfortable. I can't say I know what's going on or what I'm doing. I can't say I know what's happening right now. I can't say I have any type of history that will let me know how to operate, because this is not a moment of history. This is not something that's been done before. This is something new. Behold, I'll do a new thing. Shall you not know it? This is a moment where I have nothing and no one but God. This is a moment where I have no choice but to step into my faith. God purposely positioned this moment to bring us closer together, because due to the lack of faith, there's a disconnection in our relationship, in my family DNA. There's a disconnection between how we experience God and how we obey God and how we understand God, because it all started with our lack of faith. And now God is saying, I'm giving you an opportunity to restore our connection. Oh, Israel, I'm calling you from darkness back into the marvelous light. Oh, you rebellious people, I'm married to you. So now, yes, there's no path for it. Yes, you're in the wilderness. But if you just latch yourself to me in the wilderness, I'm the God who will make paths in the wilderness and rivers in the desert, that you may know that I, the Lord who call you by your name, am the God of Israel. He's calling, are you gonna come? He's calling, are you gonna come? With every step, the calling gets louder. It gets louder, and the next thing you know, you kept on stepping, and you've gotten closer, and you've gotten closer, and now what was once scary, you begin to have faith in the place of your fear, because you kept going, and because you kept going, then finally, right before you step into it, you have second thoughts. Do I actually go? I know I've made it this far, and because I made it this far, it should have proved to me that God has not only equipped me for this, not only called me for this, but has chosen, because many are called. If it was just a calling, I'd have questions, but few are chosen. The fact that I got this close lets me know that it's more than just a call, but I've been chosen for it. Yet right where I thought I had so much faith, I have fear, and I begin to understand. That's why the Bible tells us that if you are standing, be careful that you don't fall, because though you've been walking in so much faith, though you've been walking in so much boldness, the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he shall kill, seeking whom he shall destroy. That's why the old church would say the devil is out to do nothing but steal, kill, and destroy. So right when you're on the brink of everything your family could not attain, right when you're on the brink of destiny, right where you're at the place where God says, I am going to prosper you, you have reached Rehoboth, you have reached the promised land, it's yours. Now you're faced with another decision. Am I going to step into it? I would say that you don't realize that by taking that step, it's gonna position you into an entirely new dimension. But I want to argue instead that you know what it costs to take that step. You know that everything that's behind you, you'll have to let go of. Every single the way you used to have your conversations, the people you used to hang around, the places you used to go, the routines you used to have, the patterns you used to have set in place. You know you have to let that go and become an entirely new person to fulfill this entirely new opportunity. And so now not only is fear holding back, but your old self is saying, wait, do you really want to let me go? Do you remember all the fun times we had? Do you remember all the amazing experiences we had? Do you remember all the stories we told each other, all the laughs that we shared? Do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember when the Bible says, do not remember the former things? Do not remember the former things, nor the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Do not remember. Yourself is saying, remember, remember, remember. Don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. And you're saying, I can't remember. I've got to let go. But at the same time, you're saying, I can't remember. I've got to let go. You're saying, I do remember, and I miss it, and it was good, but I want to go forward, yet I want to hold on to what's behind me. So I find that by me latching a hold of the two, I'm being pulled back and forth, and I find myself back into the curse of stagnation that's plagued my entire family. And so I begin to do the same thing in a different place. The same thing in a different place. Notice I didn't step on the ground. I'm just on the grass. But I'm doing the same thing. I think the craziest part of it this time is I didn't even make it to the place this time. I chose to keep walking in the wilderness. I've left Egypt, haven't made it to the promised land. I'm just walking in the wilderness. I'm just walking in the wilderness, walking in the wilderness. Not that I've attained it or haven't yet been perfected, but I'm just walking in the wilderness. Walking in the wilderness. I see some exciting things over there, but I'm just walking in the wilderness. And if it looks like I'm walking in a straight line, I'm not. It's still another circle. Oftentimes, the circle is so big that it looks like a straight line, but no, you're just going in a circle. The beauty of this time and this moment is that now it's too much on the line. God says, I've invested too much in you to allow you to fail. I've invested too much in you for you to get this close and not make it any further. I've invested too much in you for you to be this close, standing on the brink of the promise, and you give up now. So he says, I got you. I'm going to go before you. And I'm going to turn what was once a circle into a straight line. So while you thought this was about to be the same experience, while you thought that subconsciously and even consciously at times you thought that you were no better and you were only going to continue the pattern that's plagued your family for generations, I said no. God says, no, I've chosen you. I'm not a man that I shall lie, nor the son of man that I shall ever have to take back, repent, and take back what I said. So no, I've chosen you. So now what was once a circle has become a straight line, because I'm the God that will come right into your situation and turn your situation around. God says, I'm making your circle a straight line. So though you're walking in the same place, doing the same thing, you're not going to get the same result. And it's not because you changed what you were doing. It's not because you had such a great idea, but it's because I decided that you need me. So I'm going to come down into into your situation and stand with you. And simply because I chose to come from my place into your place, you'll see transition in your life. But I require one thing. I require you to confess. Confess that you've tried it your own way long enough. You've tried to do it by yourself long enough. Yes, I chose you. Yes, all of that is true. But I chose you because something in you would not allow you to do it by yourself. So really, you've been operating outside of your authenticity. You wonder why it's been so hard, and you wonder why you haven't had any power. It's because you weren't standing in who I called and created you to be. Because who I called and created you to be was a networker. I called and created you to be like Moses, who came up into the mountain to talk with me, then down to the people and led the people. Yes, I called you. I made you the leader. But even leaders have partners. And until you come out of this state of thinking where you have convinced yourself that you're the only one and you can do it by yourself, you're not leaving room for me to come into the situation. Jesus was the one who had to do it by himself, that we wouldn't have to. Jesus is the one who needed the help of other people, who needed other people to help him and support him, but they chose to sleep. So Jesus tapped into the strength that he had within himself. For our weakness gives an opportunity for his strength to be made perfect. And he understood that I am the strength that becomes perfect in weakness. So I've got to show up in the situation where no one else will for myself. Because if I can't do it for me, how can I do it for you? So Jesus was the one who had to keep on praying and keep on praying and keep on praying. And then angels were dispatched the moment blood began to drop from his sweat glands. He then was strengthened and he got on the cross by himself. No one could go with him. He had to do it by himself. And yet we're trying to pay a price that's already been paid. God did not create us to walk this thing out by ourselves. He did not create us to do this thing on our lonesome. He created us to partner with him, to partner with each other. That's why one can chase 1,000 and two can chase 10,000. God wanted to make clear that if you've got a partner, you're unstoppable. I'm reminded that the word tells us that if any two agree on anything in this earth, it will be done. If any two agree concerning a thing on earth, then it shall be done. Where's your agreement? You need someone who knows what you don't know, who's been where you haven't been, who's broken out of the cycles that you're still stuck in. Or maybe you never even had to go through those cycles. You don't want the same. You need something different. And then you'll start to notice that in the place you were uncertain, the place that was unfamiliar at one point, the place where you had no direction and didn't know what to do, that in the place that required you to lean on God like never before, you got to his glory. Because you were able to say, Lord, nevertheless, Not my will, but yours be done. Lord, I pretended. I'll be honest and say that I wanted to impress you. I'll be honest and say that I didn't want to let you down. So, Lord, I tried to act like I've got it together, and I tried to pretend like I know what I'm doing. But if I'm being honest, Lord, truthfully, I don't know. And if I don't confess that I don't know, I'll just spend my life walking in a circle because I was too afraid to open my mouth and say help. Help, help. Lord, I need help. I know I've been called and I know I've been chosen, but I can't say I know how to actually attain the promise. Lord, I need help, help. I can spend every day and every night pretending like I know what I'm doing, but Lord, I just need help. If I'm ever going to break the curse of stagnation, I need your help. And God says, it is done. The moment you open your mouth, it is done.